what I also like do a lot of these days, like I stake some poker players, and I mean I've been doing that since I started pretty much. But some of them now have become really successful and competing at like 50, 100 PLO, and they're doing well. They're become really, really good.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit? Obviously, we know your living situation at the moment, but it's pretty. I'd say it's pretty unique and pretty cool. Can you your setup you've got here and like who you're living with and like kind of like a day-to-day running of what goes on in this house?
Yeah. So I was asking myself like, what do I want to do? Like this was like 1.5 years ago or something, or just over, and we were already, the three of us were already living in London, but I was living with a guy called Espen Solos, and there was another guy called Benjamin Warland, who was at the time, like now he's 21. Yeah, he moved to London when he was 18, and like he's just been studying and working so hard in order now to become one of the best PLO players.
Yeah.
And living together with those two and Preben Stockan, who is probably one of the best tournament players in the world, you're just always in a position that you can discuss poker spots. You're able to learn so much from each other. Maybe not only about poker, but mindset, work ethic, all these other tiny things that you might not think about yourself. And of course, I think most people that's able to establish themselves high in the poker, how can I say that? Establish themselves in high stakes poker.
Yeah.
Most of them are really smart people, especially in this day where it's so tough.
Yeah.
So it's fun to play some ball with them and see what they think about certain thing, and learn a bit from them and hopefully teach them some things also.
Yeah, is it, I mean, we talked about it earlier in terms of finding like a work-life balance. Is it like nice to have, I mean, I assume they're quite friendly towards it, like you're all quite friendly towards each other and you get on. Is it easy to find that balance between work and having fun?
Yeah, I would say so.
But then you might get to the point where you there's like competition and you're like driving each other so much that maybe you're working too hard.
No, I wouldn't say that. Like everyone is kind of self-driven and do things their own way. Like if you lose track a bit, like other people are there to kind of help you get back. And no, for me, it's working out really well, and I'm really happy with this.
Yeah. How long have you been in this house for?
1.5 years.
Okay, nice.
So here we have it's quite unique to find like a place like this in London with like cinema, gym, sauna, multiple guest bedrooms, and it's just so much space, so you don't actually feel like you're living with all these people. Yeah. But if you want to be social, there's room to be social also. Yeah. So I like that balance.
Yeah. And how old are you now?
29.
29.
Last year in the 20s. Turned 29 a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Okay. How does your girlfriend and even yourself, like, how do you find living with four other men at this part of your life?
Well, you kind of see it as a investment in a way. Yeah. And first of all, like investments in terms of being able to play poker and discuss and do all these things. But if I'm not planning to play that much poker going forward, I can see her point being like, look, let's get a place just the two of us and be adults. and I said to her, yeah, sure, this will be my last year, and okay, then it's time to move on.
Time to move on. Yeah. Kids on the way?
No, not that I know of. She's still quite slim, so I don't think so.
Nice. So you reckon you'll stay in London?
Probably not. Like it's hard to say though. But there's other options also. So we just gotta figure out when the time's right. Like maybe we'll take another year in London. Maybe we'll like partly live here and partly travel. It's just really hard to say. Yeah. Depends on like how everything is going, how much work is needed from me, how much work can other people do, and how much can I trust the other people also, right? Yeah. So trying to find that right balance again and do things at the right time. Yeah. But so yeah, that's cool. But yeah, I gotta give her credit. She is patient. Yeah. So props to her.
Yeah, well, considering when we got here this morning, you'd only just woken up and it was 10 or 11 o'clock.
Yeah, you called me when you were outside.
Yeah.
I was sleeping. I was deep in.
I assume she wouldn't like the late mornings, the early mornings.
Yeah, but it works out fine though. If I do the work when she's at, like, if I wake up at 12 or 1 and I work until 6 or 7 when she gets back, I'll take a break until 11, and when she's asleep I go down and continue work. Kind of works out both ways, but it's all about then just finding out what actually works for both of you.
Yeah, exactly. Got to talk, mate.
Yeah.
No, I want to ask more about this B2B business you're talking about. Can you go into a bit more detail about kind of what you're trying to do there?
Well, I'm trying to. So basically, how it works, if you run a B2B business, or if you look into any bookmaker today, I think they're paying between 11 to 20% of their profits to their provider, because there's only a few that does everything themselves.
Yeah.
And that would be Bet365. Is there anyone else? And the Asian bookies.
Yeah.
But the Asian bookies don't really do anything, because they just let the bettors place the bets and they adjust the price based on that. So Bet365, they're making it work somehow. They're just showing growth and crushing it.
Yeah.
So they must be doing something really good.
Yeah.
If you try to think what are they doing different to others, I think they have live streaming for pretty much everything. So I don't know how much they're paying for that, probably a lot.
Yeah.
But it also drives the traffic. It means that users don't have to leave their site, and they can just stay on Bet365, watch the game, place bets simultaneously. It's very interactive. I don't have the breakdowns like how much of their bets comes from in-play, but I reckon quite a lot. And yeah, I don't know. They're crushing it.
Yeah. So what are you trying to do with the other businesses?
So what you want to know though is like you're trying to get information by like knowing what are the markets doing wrong. So let's say you're an expert on betting on Norwegian football. All right, if you want to place a bet with me, that's fine. I'll take any position and I'll take that information, knowing that you make 10% on average. All right, if you're able to place 2K with me, or 2,000 or 5,000 pounds, and I'm able to bet 20,000 pounds elsewhere, works out pretty good for all of us. Then I can also skew the price, so I'm look more attractive to arbors or whatever out there, and I can get in a much bigger position than the 5K you're able to get on. Yeah, so in the end, it works out good for you. It works out good for me as a company.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And so how do you kind of facilitate that?
So that would be to build everything up from the platform to providing the odds. But it's a long way to go, so we'll see.